Greetings everyone. Today let's talk about the DJI Osmo Pocket. So the DJI Osmo Pocket is a small, lightweight, stabilized camera that you can carry around with you everywhere. Obviously there's a gimbal on the top that allows for stabilized level footage all the time, but also a little tiny screen that allows you to see what you're recording and also make some changes to the settings and adjustments, so on and so forth. So let's talk about first what comes in the box with this. Obviously you get the camera itself. You get a wrist strap if you like to have those kinds of things. You get the lightning connector. Also comes with a Type-C connector for different styles of phones to connect. And those slide into this spot where there's a blinking panel right now. You get a USB to USB Type-C charging cable that plugs in the bottom for charging. You get this really nice hard case, which is very nice because it does protect it, give it some stability so you feel comfortable to throw it in a bag, throw it in your pocket. It also has a spot so that if you want to leave the connector to the phone exposed, this cover goes over the top of that without a problem. It offers some protection. It also snaps on here pretty well. Also has a hole in the bottom so you can charge it while it's in the cover, which is important to note as well. And then you get an SD to micro SD converter. Micro SD style memory card is what you're going to need. Does not come with that. You're going to need to purchase that separately. I bought 128 gig. And then in this space you can slide in for storage your connector in here like this and flip it around to be able to connect into the end of your cell phone if you'd like, and be able to use the DJI Mimo app. Now the first thing you have to do with this is, of course, make sure that it's charged. But second to that is you have to activate it. And you have to have the Mimo app to do that. So the first thing you do is download the Mimo app onto your phone, make sure this is charged up, connect it in, and then you register, activate the product. The startup time is amazingly fast. So to start it up, you're pressing and holding here, and you can see it's ready to go now. You can see the screen here. You can make various adjustments by swiping on the screen to different settings, all kinds of things that are largely now available on the screen that did have to be done on the app itself. But as a result of some firmware updates, they've made some improvements. Some of those improvements include 4K 60 recording and the ability to do a lot of those pro level settings right on this tiny display. The first thing that I did change though was, by default, the display is not 16:9, it's actually cropped off by default. And so what you'll find is when you're doing recording with that off, you don't really know exactly everything that's in the picture. So you can easily change that to be 16:9 so you can see everything that is in the frame of the Osmo Pocket. This other button is just a record button, obviously, and to flip this around, three taps will turn it around. You can also control the horizontal by swiping up and down. There are different settings. There is a first-person view, there's a follow mode, there's a selfie mode, all kinds of adjustments and settings you can make to play around with this. It is a small sensor. It's tiny. So low light's not going to be fantastic, but I don't think it's going to be too bad. I think it's kind of a use case. They do have a couple of different microphone ports. There's one here at the top, and then there's one here on the bottom, which helps with wind noise, noise reduction, and things of that nature. You just have to remember that when you're holding it so that you don't cover up the microphone ports or cause extra noise if you're relying upon this for some audio. It does have some color profiles. It has DJI's cine-like D profile that's a little bit flatter if you enjoy shooting with that. But there are a lot of different settings. Charging goes really fast. Battery time about 2 hours. Pretty reasonable. Some of the complaints have been the low light performance. Again, small sensor, very tiny, only going to have limited amounts of, sensor size, so low light's not going to be fantastic. Some other complaints have been that you can't change the battery out, but honestly, with 2 hours of battery life, that seems pretty reasonable. And somehow we seem to make do with recharging our cell phones all the time with portable battery packs and so forth. So I don't really see that as being a big deal, but your mileage may vary. So something to consider as well. I would say overall, though, it is an impressive little package. It's tiny, it's fast, seems to be pretty easy. So let's put it to work and see what we think. So we're out at Shelter Gardens, a great place to try out the Osmo. Got the onboard sound, lots of birds and chirps, so let's do it. So I think you can see that this is a fun little camera to be able to carry around with you all the time. Priced at, about $350 depending on where you're at, what options you buy. You may need some accessories. I think that ND filters will definitely be necessary because of controlling the ISO and the shutter speed. Also, you may want some sort of device for holding on to it to be able to mount it to tripods or portable tripods, things like that. So there might be some accessories, but overall, I think this is a great option for something to have with you, capture great stabilized footage, do some hyperlapse type stuff, vlogging. I think it would be great for that as well. Portable that you can have with you. We all know that the most important thing with any of these types of devices is that if you don't have it with you, it's useless. So if it's small and light and easy to carry with you and you can put it to use to be able to capture those moments, then I think it's a useful tool. So we're going to see how it works out over time. So I hope this is helpful. See you again soon.